Hello fellow tankers, this is Dauntless and welcome to another episode of Dauntless Tactics. Today we are in our K91 and the map is Serene Coast. We've spawned on the north side and it's a solid tier 10 game. What do we want to do in this game, guys? Let's take a look at the team compositions. The first thing that you should notice immediately is the distinction in heavy tanks, right? That's going to have a drastic outcome on how this map plays out. And I want you to recognize that. If you see an imbalance like that, that's drastic. Yes, we have another medium tank and they have one extra heavy tank. How important is that, you say? Well, if they had 4 heavy tanks and we had 3, or they had 4 and we had 5 or something like that, when it's a larger number, like the medium tanks for instance, it's not that big of a deal. But when you have less numbers, like 2 versus 3, that can make a big difference. The other thing I want you guys to notice is the type of heavy tanks that they have versus the one we have. Okay, we have 277s on either side. Those are fast Soviet heavy tanks and they have good angled armor. That means that they're going to brawl. They're probably going to be the first to meet, right, when they start brawling down in the boot, if that's where they go. There is a chance that the 277s could go the one line. We don't know that. And they have a WZ-111 5A. Okay, that's another tank that could potentially go the one line. If it was me and in my 5A, I would go the one line because the thing is fast and you can just play super well on this map on the hill. So what's going to happen? We don't know. But I do know also that we have a mouse on our team, and the mouse is a tremendously slow vehicle, and the mouse, which happened to spawn all the way over here, could be discouraged because of his spawn. He might not even go to the boot, right? He should be spawned right here, but somehow he spawned all the way over there, and just because of his spawn location, he could just be like, screw it, I'm going to the hill, which could happen. And or even if he does decide to go to the boot, it's going to take so long for him to get even to this position after crossing the water that they're just going to be overwhelmed. He's going to be overwhelmed before he even knows what hit him. So what's going to happen in this game? My prediction is that we're going to lose the boot, right? You guys can probably see this now that we've actually just looked at the teams. But at the very beginning of this replay, you guys probably wouldn't have predicted that. But that was my prediction. And what do we need to do? We have 3 light tanks on either side. That means that most likely something is going to sit here and shoot, or spot, I guess. Most likely our Manticore, just because our EBRs don't really have the greatest view range and they'd rather be running around like idiots anyway. So what do I need to do? I want to support the 9 line. I want to support the boot the best I can, just because this thing is not a great tank haul down and it doesn't have gun depression over the front. And so if I end up fighting something like the 5A, I'm just going to get wrecked and I'm going to be unhappy with life. And so I decide it's in my best interest to support the heavy tank flank, either by shooting across or by spotting for our team. So let's go ahead and get the replay started. So we can see right off the bat that the Manticore is in fact pushing to that location. Great, I can just shoot them. And Jake is going over there, and what is our mouse doing? Our mouse is charging up the middle. That is not what you want to see. So the Manticore is getting into position. I'm probably going to just sit back here and shoot, and then he falls back. Okay, so the fact that he's falling back means he's not going to really get any spotting. And so I'm like, okay, fine, if you're not going to spot, then I'll spot. So I push up and the E4 gets lit. I'm not going to fire there just because I don't want to risk getting lit. I'm predicting that their 277 and their 5A are going to show up over here, as well as their PZ. But I look at the minimap, and let's pause it for a second because this is interesting what's happening here. Let's look at our phase 1 is just about over. Everything is almost set up. Once the tanks get into this position, we'll consider that this phase 2 starting, right? The standoff. But they have an EBR over in the boot. They have the Progetto in the boot. They have the E4 pushing actually down and gonna brawl with us instead of sitting back here. What does that mean? Well, the scent, the object, and the WZ are over on the one line. And we have enough stuff going over there to deal with them. And the scent actually looks like he's camping. These are things that you can definitely check out. Just make a snap decision to look at your mini-map, especially if you're sitting and not really doing a whole lot. But this is what I realized. Our mouse is pushing over there. So even if this line fails, they're going to have a heck of a time getting through that mouse. So I am not worried about the 1-2 line right now. What I'm worried about is where the heck is that PZ? Where the heck is that 277? Hopefully they're going to get themselves lit here and I'm going to be able to get some damage. All right, so the 277 gets lit, and unfortunately, he didn't get spotted, right? He pushed in a way that I wasn't able to get the assist, or maybe he was fast enough that by the time I finally got here, I wasn't able to get the damage. I don't want to get spotted by that EBR, so I do drive forward in the bush, and now we have to look at the map. What is happening? All right, they are being super aggressive against our 277, and our 277 is slightly out of position. We do have the 183 down there, as well as our let's see, we have 268 decides to drown himself. I don't know if that was intentional or not. He didn't say anything in the chat, but he decides that, you know, this life is just too painful to live, and he just commits suicide. So that's gonna drastically change what happens over here. Regardless, sitting in this opening is not going to help our team anymore. So I'm moving. Pushing around here and trying to shoot these guys is also not going to help our team. What I need to do is create a tilt, a counter tilt, right? Because phase 3, whether we like it or not, is going to happen in the next minute or so. Very, very early in this game. There's already an imbalance. Our mouse is still trying to get to the hill, and because we have numbers here, and Jake was able to take out the WZ 111.5A, we have a chance to tilt this side of the map and win before these guys can get themselves out. And I'm hoping that our heavy tanks and this FV-183's presence will be able to hold them off. But realistically, that's kind of hoping for too much, I think. Because if you can watch what's happening over there, our 183 is dead. Our 277 is getting hurt. And, you know, he's not gonna be alive much longer. And Jake dies. So tilt has officially happened, right? Our 277, the second he dies, it's going to tilt. And there he goes. So let's pause the game here for a second, right? We are losing. We are down by 2 tanks, and the mouse is over here. I didn't really realize that Jake was so low on HP. And if we decide to go here and push, my tank is slow, the mouse is slow. I don't know what's over here, right? The grill hasn't been lit yet. There are potentially other tanks hiding here. And I'm just looking at the minimap, I can't tell what's in this cluster. And so I don't know if the grill is here. They still have a relatively healthy scent. And even with the help of the Progetto, who by the way is not too healthy looking, he's down to 588 HP. I can't effectively push this flank fast enough because I have to be cautious and wait for this guy to be taken out. I don't know how much HP the 140 has, and there could be a grill back here. And by the time we finally fight our way all the way through here, I guarantee you that the cap is going to be taken. So what do I need to do? Phase 3 just hit. The second R277 died, I need to make a decision. So what am I going to do? I realize, oh shoot, you know, our 277 died. I need to fall back. I need to play defense, and I'm hoping that my team will help me. The grill is on full health, and same with the STRV. And so realistically, if they are able to get themselves up into here, we should be able to have a good defense, because I can get into this position here that is very powerful, and I should be able to hold them off for at least long enough for our team to push, because it looks like our EBR is going after Artie. It looks like the Manticore is pushing in. The mouse and the Progetto and the EBR are taking out the 140. So I'm going to just sit here and I'm going to wait. It's important that you see that I knocked down those trees there, because that's going to help us get extra cover. But this EBR is going to proxy me, and I need to take him out so I don't get lit and fired upon. If he keeps coming back, it's going to completely ruin our defense if I'm lit, because I won't ever be able to peek. So I decide I'm going to peek here in a second, but I fell back because I realized I was still lit, and that was a good call to make because the PZ has a nasty gun. But I'm not lit any longer. Alright, so now we're getting ambushed by this Progetto, and I should have read that he was going to push me here. Thankfully, our Progetto is able to put a round into him. He doesn't do much more than one shot, but my DPM is good, and I am able to take him out. Let's take a look again and see what is happening in this game. So, the scores are actually good. We are, in fact, winning now, but they still have 4 vehicles that are coming this way. The 277 is lit. And my guess is the E4 and the PZ are going to be up here soon, and possibly the 183 as well. They're all on their way over here. I don't know where these guys are, but we do know that one is on the cap. What's happening over here? Our light tanks are coming in like the wrath of God, and they are taking out their team, and our Manticore is actually on cap. So right now, if everything plays out the way it is now, we're going to tie this game. So I can't have that happen. We have to reset. All right, so that's what's happening. I'm waiting to get unlit because I cannot afford to take one more shell, especially from that 277. I will die, and I don't know. Actually, I do know. Remember, we got tracked by that PZ previously, and so we know that he's actually right here, and that's probably what just got on cap. So now we are going to lose this 100% if we don't get a reset. We actually have 3 on cap now, 20 seconds left. I'm just going to spot these guys. I'm going to back up. I'm looking for a shot on this guy. Realize, okay, lower plate is probably the best place to go, and I'm going to utilize my great DPM, and I'm going to harvest this guy. 16 seconds, we get another reset. But we need to confirm a kill to slow it down, or at least get the reset on these other guys. I should have gone for the track on that guy. 10 seconds. I know my reload is fast enough, and I load a gold round here and get the penetration, and I am able to get the reset there. Now the PZ realizes that this is hopeless, and he needs to push because he's getting shot from 2 different angles, and now he is going to push me. We have 10 seconds left on their cap, and we should have this in the bag now that we were able to slow them down. 3 seconds, 2, 1. We'll get one more shell in before the game ends, and we get the reset, and we capture their base. So really quick game, guys. What, 4.5 minutes, and we were able to at least get, you know, almost 4K combined, and I couldn't have asked for that to go any better, right? Recognizing when that tilt happened at the 3-minute mark, when that 277 died, recognizing the imbalance, and then falling back to play defense, knowing that if I wasn't here to spot these guys and to provide fire, our STRV would have been smoked. I don't know if our Progetto, being low health, would have had the balls to push in here and spot them, and their EBR may not have died, right? Because think about it, in my presence here, I put 3 rounds into that EBR, no one else did, and if he was able to get behind our STRV, he would have just destroyed that guy. And so the fact that I fell back, I protected our base, I got the resets, I defended, and I pretty much saved our STRV from being murdered by that EBR, I'm relatively certain that it was my presence and falling back and reading the map that won this game. And otherwise, this game would have been a loss, and it would have affected my win rate. And if I had just, you know, done anything else, I don't think I would have won this game. So, you know, hindsight is always 20/20, sure, but I think I played that right. And you guys can do this too. Recognizing when there's a tilt and playing defense is so easy to do, but I don't see a lot of people doing it. There are many tanks that could have fallen back into this position, and they didn't. In fact, the Grill went the other way when he saw things happening, and we would have lost. And so, guys, I'm showing you this replay because I want you to learn these tactics, and recognizing that the tilt can happen at any moment, and when it does, the faster you can react to it, the better you're going to be rewarded, and the higher your chance of actually winning the game is. If I had reacted and just kept going and think, oh, we'll be fine, and wait for them to actually get on the cap, thinking, oh, they're all not going to get on the cap, they all probably are falling back right now to defend their base, it would have been too late, because I would have been in a situation where I'm trying to shoot things from here and I would be lit, but instead I knocked down the trees before they realized I was there, and I was able to farm some damage, get the resets that were needed, and ultimately win this game. Even if our tanks weren't capping, we actually are outnumbering them, and I'm confident that, you know, I could have tracked this guy and killed him and killed the E4 pretty easily, and we probably could have cleaned up and we could have ended with like a 5K game instead. So anyway, guys, that was my latest episode of Dauntless Tactics. Hopefully you found it informational and it was valuable to you guys. If you like this format, please give it a like below. Send me your encouragement and sub to my channel if you haven't already. It just gives me a lot of encouragement to keep making content like this for you guys, because it is a little bit time consuming breaking down these replays and making videos on them. So hopefully I'll have the next episode up for you guys soon, and until then I will see you on the battlefield.